Hi, Karen. Sorry it took me a minute to get this to you. I lost my note to do this to myself in the shuffle of everything, so I really apologize. But the next thing that you need to learn is to distribute. So, when you distribute, what you're doing is you're going to multiply through a parentheses. Parentheses. There we go. Okay, so there are a lot of ways that we can describe that we're going to multiply numbers. Like when you were in elementary school, we did 4 times 6, like that is 24. But in high school and part of middle school, it doesn't work anymore because x is a variable. So if we use x for multiply, everything gets all confused. So there are other ways to say times. Sometimes we say 4.6, like that, and that means multiply. Sometimes we use parentheses. That also means multiply. The first term can also be in parentheses or not, and it means the same thing. So all of these are versions of the operation multiplication, how you might see that written. So if we have a number outside of parentheses, we know that means to multiply. What if there's more than one thing inside the parentheses? What if we have a binomial or trinomial or even bigger? So this one has 2 terms, 1, 2. This one is a binomial. Okay, so I need to take my number outside and multiply it by both terms inside. So I need to multiply 4 times x, and we just write that as the coefficient in front of the variable, just like that. Those are the easiest ones. And then 4 times 3, which is 12. So that's the basic idea. Very simple. There are some details that can trip people up a little bit sometimes. Like, for example, when we add negatives into the mix. So what if we had, 6 parentheses 2x minus 8? Okay, so I need to distribute 6 through the parentheses. 6 times 2x would be 12x. Now, when you multiply that 6 by the second term here, we need to make sure that we are including the negative with our term. So we're going to multiply 6 times negative 8. So 6 times negative 8 is negative 48. Or sometimes you might end up with something like this, negative 2 parentheses, and it's not always x, so let's use something else, I don't know, p minus 6. So you might start out with a negative outside your parentheses. Just remember that that is a negative 2 that you are distributing through the parentheses, not a positive 2. So it would be negative 2 times p, which is negative 2p, and negative 2 times 6. Oh, wait, whoa. No, negative 2 times negative 6. And a negative times a negative is a positive, or you might even see this. Just a negative outside. If you see just a negative outside the parentheses, that means you have a negative 1 outside your parentheses. So if you have that, You multiply -1 times the first term. That would be -m. And -1 times the second term, which would be +4. Now you might have something bigger than a binomial. You might have a number times a trinomial, or even bigger, there could be an infinite number of terms really in the parentheses. So now I need to multiply 4 times x squared, which is 4x squared, 4 times +2x, which is +8x, 4 times -6, which is -24. I cannot combine these are not like terms, so I am done. The other tricky thing you might see is when you also have a variable outside the parentheses. So I guess the next level here would be, what if I had like an x times x minus 8? In that case, x times x is x to the 2. There's 2 x's we're multiplying together there. X times -8 is -8x. And we could take it another step further and say, what if we have a number and a variable outside the parentheses? Remember, when we multiply something like 5p times 4p, oh, you know what? I'm going to change this to 5p squared times 4p to the 4, so I can really show you what I'm talking about. So when we do this, remember that we start by multiplying our coefficients together. Now we're following law of exponents that I can't remember if you were in our class for or not now. But when we have something like this, we multiply the coefficients together. So 5 times 4 is 20. Then we take these p's, and we have 2 p's that we're multiplying here and 4 p's that we're multiplying here. So all together we have 2 and 4. 2 plus 4 is 6. So we have 6 p's we're multiplying together. And then we need to distribute this by the second term. 5 times -1 is -5, so that's -5p to the 2. Okay, that's all.